Marvelites, welcome back. You are watching Marvel live at Comic-Con 2015, brought to you by Marvel Future Fight from Netmarble. I'm Ryan Penagos, aka Marvel's Agent M.
I am Tamara Krinsky, Marvel's West Coast host, and we are here with
Brian Crosby, Creative Director of Live Events from Marvel.
Yeah, buddy. So this has been a crazy, super fun, super awesome day. What have you been doing walking the floor? Just enjoying this?
Just everything. Just hanging out with my buddies, hanging out with my sons, hanging out, seeing all the fun stuff. Great cosplay.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. I've been coming to Comic-Con for about over 20 years, you know, as a fan, and now
it's just changed a little bit.
It's just changed a little bit. Yeah, there's quite a few more people. It smells much better though than it used to.
Huh.
That is good to hear.
Ironically enough.
Strangely enough.
Yeah.
So, Creative Director of Live Events for Marvel.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
entail?
That's a great question. I get asked that a lot. Live events for Marvel is kind of anything and everything whenever the Marvel characters show up in any dimensional form in the world, whether it be in the Disney theme parks or our traveling events like Marvel Universe Live, things like that. That's something that I got my hands on. So I'm working with our partners at Walt Disney Imagineering and also all of our various third-party partners to kind of bring these characters to life in new ways, which is a lot of fun.
Kind of sounds like a dream job. How does one, what was the path to getting your job?
Well, I started out wanting to be a comic book artist. So I did comics, kind of indie stuff for about, I did just a few small projects. Then I got hired at Walt Disney Imagineering. And I worked there for 10 years, designing various theme parks around the world and different attractions, experiences, things like that.
Can you explain any of them that like you've had your hands on that we could talk about?
Yeah, sure. Well, the first things I worked on were the Finding Nemo submarine voyage at Disneyland and It's a Small World for Hong Kong. But my baby was is the Iron Man experience, which we recently announced is going into Hong Kong Disneyland in 2016. And that's how I got to start working on a lot of Marvel projects and working with our partners at Marvel. And one thing led to another, and now I'm part of the Marvel family, which has been just awesome.
And
Super cool.
What's it like going around the world? I mean, we're here, we're at home, you know, we understand American audience. What's it like going around the world and actually seeing the international reaction to what happens when you bring these characters and experiences to life?
It's interesting, right? Because, I mean, we're so close to what happens here domestically, and we think, we kind of live in our own little myopic world, and we think everybody knows this stuff. And what we discover is that sometimes people just don't know. They don't know our characters, they're not as familiar with it, and in some cases they are, you know, like China. You know, we're huge in China. They love the Marvel characters, they love the theme parks, things like that. We're doing a Shanghai Disneyland there. It's always interesting, it's always unique. The people are awesome. I loved Hong Kong. Has been a great place to visit, so I think they're going to be very excited to get the Iron Man experience for sure.
Yeah. Guys, if you have questions, comments, use hashtag MarvelSDCC. A couple come in already. Raph AB, who's one of our French fans, asks, are you the person who can help us get Marvel characters at Disneyland Paris? I don't know.
I totally am, yes.
Right there, that guy.
This guy.
Yeah. We're looking at Marvel opportunities all over the world. We recognize these characters have global appeal, and so we're doing our best to see where we can fit them in big ways and small ways at all of the Disney parks and resorts.
Cool.
So when we have something to announce, we totally will.
Right. I answer that kind of question all the time.
Yeah.
Sophia says, wow, that's a great job. Seems pretty fun. Lucky you. Now, you also got to work on some comic book stuff.
I did.
With Marvel over the last couple years. Explain what that was and what that experience was like.
Well, that was something that I helped birth with Josh Shipley and Jim Clark over at Walt Disney Imagineering. And when I was working there, and after the acquisition of Marvel in 2009, we got a lot of questions as to what can Disney do with Marvel? And nobody had stopped to think about what can Marvel do with Disney, do with the Disney IP and the Disney or the Disney characters. So we thought, could we do Marvel comics based on Disney theme park attractions? And that was kind of the birth of Disney Kingdom's line of comics. So we started with Seekers of the Weird, based on a never-before-built attraction called Museum of the Weird, that Walt Disney actually announced back in 1965, but was never built. And then we did Figment, based on Journey into Imagination at Epcot, and now we're doing Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, which has just been a lot of fun. And everybody knows that ride, so
the best part is we have these experiences and these memories of these amazing attractions. Yeah. And now, like with the Museum of the Weird, Seekers of the Weird, something that was brand new to me, and I am envisioning what we like see. These are like the prototypes for the movies that I want to see. I want
Right.
to see a Seekers of the Weird movie. I need to see a Big Thunder Mountain Railroad movie based
Right.
on the comic
Right.
because it just works so well. You guys have been killing it with that stuff.
Well, part of it was, part of the impetus for wanting to do that line of comics was we wanted to build the Seekers of the Weird for real. And in this day and age of franchise, we thought, let's kind of backdoor this idea of franchising and create our own franchise out of something that could have been. And that's where Seekers of the Weird was really born. And it's like, could we build it someday? That was the idea.
Right.
Yeah.
And could it become a movie? I hope so. That would be
Fingers
awesome.
crossed.
I know, man.
A person tweets, "It sounds like you have one of the best jobs ever, but how busy are you?"
Swamped constantly. I'm never not busy.
What is your favorite part of your job?
My favorite part of the job is kind of the ideation part of it. Really kind of coming up with new stories. What are we going to tell? Which characters do we want to use? That's the most fun part. When you start to get into the business and the technical aspects, those are things you have to do, but I wouldn't say that's not like playtime.
So were you guys like whiteboarding stuff? Or
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're really starting it with soup to nuts. Creating the whole thing and seeing what the best stories are, and when new thing. Wow.
They're really excited for
Oh,
your
that's
job.
awesome! Thank you guys. When Marvel is just killing it with a lot of these film franchises, Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers and Ant-Man's coming out, so we start to talk about we're fans too. We get excited about that same kind of stuff, so we start to think immediately about what theme park application could those stories have, and how could we deliver on those things that people are seeing in the films or reading in the comics and want to step into those stories.
Sure. Wendy Willis says she just read Seekers of the Weird this morning. It is amazing. Thank you, Brian.
Oh, awesome. Well, there's a lot of people that are responsible for that, but thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bill Roseman, David Gabriel, Joe Quesada wouldn't have happened without those guys for sure.
For sure. Sophia says, of which Marvel character would you like to make into a new attraction or incorporate into a new attraction?
Gosh.
Just if you had,
Just nothing?
just no limits.
And nobody, what you would want to do.
Yeah, me personally, well, I'm really excited about Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange hits kind of a sweet spot for Disney when you start to think about the mystic arts and sorcery and things like that. I think, it's kind of a mind trip. I think we could really have a lot of fun with Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. I was going to ask you where fans can find you online, on social media, on stuff like that, but you don't do that.
No, I'm not. I'm not a big social media guy. I'm sorry, but I connect with people on LinkedIn, but they're welcome to come see me at the conventions, or I'm around. There are ways to get a hold of me, But I'm not a big social media guy. Yeah, I did MySpace for a long time. I was a king of MySpace.
I bet you and Tom.
Yeah, me and Tom were tight.
Super tight.
My top friends.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Guys,
Sorry, guys.
Stay tuned. We're going to have much more. Brian, thank you for joining us. We have Lucky Yates coming on real soon. Much more from Comic-Con in the last hour. One more hour.
Stay with us. Stay with us.